we passed an economic plan, cut taxes for 2 million families here in Missouri. Didn't raise taxes, cut taxes for 2 million, because that's what was necessary to give the economy a boost. It provided 1,500 loans to Missouri small businesses so they could keep their doors open. Extended unemployment benefits for 170,000 Missourians who had lost their jobs through no fault of their own. 55,000 men and women in the state are working because of this plan. Jay Nixon didn't have to lay off as many teachers or police officers or firefighters because of this plan. I was just over at Smith Electric Vehicles. Very cool plant, right out of the airport. They are making these electric trucks, cutting-edge stuff. And 50 new employees there making these brand spanking new electric trucks that are being used by companies like Frito-Lay and PepsiCo. Those folks wouldn't have a job if it hadn't been for the fact that we decided we need to invest in clean energy all across America. All across America. You know what? The other party, they said no to all this. Just said no. We're not going to do it. So those 50 workers at Smith Electric would not have a job making electric trucks that are going to lead us into the future. A whole bunch of teachers be out of work. Economy would still be in the ditch. They say no to everything. Don't they though? Everything. And I go and I talk to them and I say, come on, we can get something going here. No. Don't want to. We decided, you know what, since this financial crisis wreaked havoc, cost the American people trillions of dollars of wealth, retirees see their 401ks plunge, businesses suddenly shuttered. You know, it might be smart for us to try to prevent this from happening again. Right? That's some common sense. So we craft this very carefully, this financial regulatory bill, to make sure that consumers are protected from predatory loans and credit card abuses, to make sure that we never have another taxpayer bailout because we can shut down one firm without and quarantine it so it doesn't affect all the other firms. We put tons of work into this thing. Consult with everybody. What does the other side say? No. The leader of the Republican Party in the House of Representatives, John Boehner, he says, well, we don't need all this. This is like using a nuclear weapon to kill an ant. The worst crisis since the Great Depression, he calls an ant. It's like, you got to make a movie. The ant that ate the economy. An ant. We thought that it made sense for us to do something about Wall Street, but they don't. I think most Missourians want to see something done. So does Robin Carnahan. That's why you need to send her to the Senate instead of the other guy, because she gets it. She understands what you've been going through, and this is not a game to her. These are real lives at stake. We said during the campaign, you know what, our future is going to depend on education. And we've got to get back to the point where we send more people to college than any other country. That's a goal I set for 2020. I want the most college graduates here in the United States than in any country in the world. But so now, Some of that means making sure parents are parenting, turning off the TV set, instilling a sense of excellence in our kids. You know, Xbox, PlayStation, you just got to put those away for a while, hit the books, do your math, read. But even students who do well, a lot of them can't afford to go to college. So what do? We decided, you know what, as part of our overall education reform, raising standards, initiating reforms, here's what we'll do. The government student loan program was going through banks and financial intermediaries, middlemen, and they were siphoning off billions of dollars in subsidies. Now, the loans were guaranteed, so they weren't taking any risk. They were just taking the money. So we said, you know what, we'll eliminate the subsidies. And that'll give tens of billions of dollars in additional money to student loans. We passed that bill. 1 million more students are getting student loans now, financial aid, because of what we did. You know what the other side said? No. Said no. How do you say no to that? But they did. Got no support for it. Robin Carnahan understands that young people need help getting to college. That's why you need to send her to the Senate, not the other guy. Because she knows what your life is like. She knows what you're going through. Most recently, obviously, we've had this oil spill, an environmental disaster. And it's going to take some time for us to clean it up. But the first thing that we could do was to say, all those fishermen down there, all those small business owners who've got maybe a little restaurant, they rely on tourist season, we've got to make them whole. BP's got to pay. And so I met with BP. I want BP to do well because obviously their ability to pay depends on them staying solvent. But I said to them, do right by these folks. And they agreed to put together a $20 billion fund to make sure that everybody was being compensated. Seems pretty sensible, doesn't it?